The Galactic Council chamber was silent. Not the kind of silence that felt peaceful, but the heavy, tense kind that made even the strongest alien diplomats shift uncomfortably in their seats. A massive hologram floated in the center of the room. Showing the pale blue planet called Earth. It looked harmless. Too harmless. For decades, humanity had played the same role in galactic politics, quiet, agreeable, never pushing for power. They attended meetings, signed treaties, helped with trade, and smiled through every insult the older races threw at them. Many in the galaxy thought humans were simply soft. Today's meeting was supposed to be routine, a renewal of the peace treaty between humanity and the rest of the Galactic Council. The last such treaty had been signed 50 years ago without issue, but this time, things felt different. High Chancellor Virox of the Yilthan Empire, a tall reptilian figure with golden eyes, leaned forward in his seat. Humans, he said slowly, are stable, perhaps too stable. They never show any sign of ambition. This is unnatural for a young species. Perhaps they are simply afraid, replied Councillor Straya, an insectoid diplomat whose mandibles clicked with every word. Their technology is below ours, their fleet small. What could they do if we turned against them? Several delegates chuckled. Only one alien did not laugh. Ambassador Lethan of the Vruketh Alliance kept his gaze fixed on the hologram of Earth. You underestimate them, he said softly. My scouts report strange activity near their moon. Activity? Virox frowned. Yes, Lethan continued. Energy readings far beyond human civilian technology. The dark side of the moon is restricted space. No alien ship is allowed to pass close by human request. They claim it's for historic preservation, but my people have detected power signatures. Strong ones. The chamber grew quieter. They are building something, Lethan said. Councillor Straya hissed in disbelief. What could they possibly build in secret? Their largest warship is barely a match for a mid-tier destroyer. Lethan did not answer. Instead, he tapped the table, and another hologram appeared, a grainy scan showing faint outlines of massive shapes, hidden in the moon's shadow. The room filled with low murmurs. Far away, in the Sol system, Earth's skies were calm. People went to work, children went to school, cities bustled with life. To any alien observer, it was a peaceful world. But on the far side of the moon, the truth was very different. A massive facility stretched across craters and cliffs, hidden beneath layers of adaptive camouflage. Huge black towers bristled with antenna arrays, while enormous docking bays opened silently to release and receive ships. Inside one of these bays, Captain Mira Kane walked along a metal catwalk, her boots echoing against steel. She paused to watch a giant machine below, a warship's spinal cannon being installed. How long until the next one is ready? She asked. 17 hours, replied Chief Engineer Rourke. We've been working triple shifts. The Council still believes we're harmless. We need to finish before they find out otherwise. Mira nodded. They will find out. And when they do, we must already be ready. For 200 years, humanity had hidden its true strength. The official story was that Earth had recovered from a devastating global war and had focused on peace. The truth was more dangerous. That war had been fought with weapons so advanced that, if the galaxy knew, every alien empire would have united to destroy humanity before they could rise again. So, the United Earth Directorate had made a decision: hide their power, downplay their abilities, and quietly rebuild in the shadows. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Lethan's report was being dismissed. This is nothing, Virox said. Humans are not a threat. They are background noise in galactic affairs. Let them keep their secrets. It changes nothing. You speak too confidently, Lethan warned. History teaches us that the quiet ones often have the sharpest claws. But the Council voted to renew the peace treaty. The humans agreed, smiling as always. And the meeting ended without any formal investigation into the moon's activities. Only Lethan remained uneasy. He had seen the energy readings. They did not belong to civilian reactors or defensive satellites. They belonged to something else, something dangerous. 2 weeks later, on the edge of human space, an incident occurred. A small human colony called Ternes 4 was attacked by a pirate fleet believed to be connected to the Drazak Syndicate. Normally, such raids ended with stolen goods and damaged ships. But this time, nothing was stolen because the attackers never returned. Patrol ship from the nearby human defense fleet had answered the distress call. When it arrived, it found only drifting debris, molten wreckage where the pirate ships had been. Scans showed no survivors, no escape pods, nothing. The story quickly reached the council. Most members laughed it off, claiming pirates were poorly equipped and must have made a mistake. But a few noted something strange. The damage patterns on the wreckage didn't match any known human weapons. Meanwhile, on the moon, the war factories worked without pause. Mira stood before a viewing window, watching as a black warship slowly rose from its construction cradle. It was unlike anything in the galaxy, sleek, predatory, built for speed and destruction. Every inch of it was covered in adaptive armor that shifted color and texture to match its surroundings. Rourke joined her. The Shadow Spear is ready for deployment, the first of the Phantom class. Mira gave a thin smile. Good. The galaxy thinks we're still centuries behind them. Let's keep it that way, until the moment we strike. In the depths of alien space, Ambassador Lethan received a private message. It was a video file, security footage smuggled from a cargo freighter passing near the moon. The grainy image showed a massive black silhouette moving through space, then vanishing instantly without any visible jump drive effect. Lethan's eyes widened. Impossible, he whispered. They've broken the limits. He knew the council wouldn't believe him. They never did. But he also knew that if humanity truly had such technology, the balance of power in the galaxy would not just shift it, would shatter. Night fell on Earth, but in the shadows of the moon, it was always night. Inside the war facility's command center, Mira received a secure call from Earth's Prime Minister. Captain Kane, the Prime Minister said, her voice low. The Council has renewed the treaty, but their spies are becoming more curious. Accelerate production. We may not have as much time as we thought. Yes, ma'am. How much time do we have? The Prime Minister's face hardened. A year. Perhaps less. Once they know what we've built, they will come. And when they do, they will not be ready for what waits here. The transmission ended, leaving Mira alone with the hum of machines. She looked out across the docks at the rows of half-built warships, each one capable of tearing apart a fleet on its own. The galaxy thought humanity was weak. That belief had kept them safe for centuries. But soon, that illusion would end, and when it did, the galaxy would face a truth it was not prepared to survive. The news spread fast across the galaxy. Ternes 4 was gone. No one knew exactly what had happened, only that the small human colony on the edge of their territory had sent a distress signal. When help arrived, the attackers were already gone, or rather, they had been erased from existence. Only molten metal fragments drifted in space where a pirate fleet once was. The Galactic Council dismissed it as luck. A patrol must have arrived at the right moment, some said. Others claimed the pirates' weapons had overloaded and destroyed their own ships. Ambassador Lethan knew better. He had spent years studying humanity's movements. He had seen the strange energy readings from the moon, and now, seeing those perfectly clean, melted wrecks, ships destroyed so completely, not even a black box remained, he felt a chill in his bones. This is not luck, he told himself in his private quarters. This is a test. The Hook, in deep space, far from any known trade routes, a human warship floated silently. Its hull was black as the void, its shape almost invisible against the stars. Inside the command bridge, Captain Mayra Kane stood before a holographic projection of the Ternes 4 battle site. All targets destroyed in under 8 seconds, reported her tactical officer. No survivors, no transmissions escaped. Mayra's eyes narrowed. And the debris? Scattered. Spread to make it look like a reactor chain failure. Good, Mayra said. The galaxy must believe it was an accident for now. She turned toward the viewport, staring into the endless dark. They think we're weak, she whispered. Let them keep thinking that. Until it's too late. In the Galactic Council chamber, the debate raged on. This incident is concerning, Lethan said, addressing the other ambassadors. The weapon signature at Ternes 4 does not match any known human design. Are you suggesting, sneered Chancellor Virox, that humans possess weapons more advanced than ours? Impossible. They can barely match our smallest destroyers. That's exactly what they want you to believe, Lethan replied coldly. You've all seen their behavior. They hide their fleets, keep their manufacturing secret. Why? To avoid humiliation, obviously, Strya said, clicking her mandibles. If they revealed their true numbers, we would all see how small they are. Lethan slammed his clawed hand on the table, startling several diplomats. You fools! You don't hide weakness, you hide strength. They are preparing for something, and Ternes 4 was their first move. A murmur spread across the chamber, while the council argued. The human shipyards on the far side of the moon worked faster than ever. Inside the main assembly dome, a skeleton of a massive vessel was taking shape. It was 3 times the size of any known human ship, bristling with strange weapon ports and cloaking emitters. Engineers swarmed over its frame like ants, welding armored plates into place. Chief Engineer Rourke oversaw the process, his hands never far from his datapad. Phantom-class warships are effective, he told Mayra in a quiet briefing, but the next step will be the Titans. Mayra raised an eyebrow. Titans? You'll see. When they arrive, the galaxy won't stand a chance. Meanwhile, far beyond human space, in the Drazek Syndicate's hidden base, a pirate lord slammed his fist into the table. 2 of my fleets are gone, and no one knows what happened. He roared. One of his lieutenants shifted nervously. We think it was humans. The pirate lord's eyes narrowed. Humans? The farmers of the galaxy? They couldn't destroy a single cruiser without begging for help. The lieutenant swallowed hard. This wasn't a normal battle. There were no survivors, no wreckage worth salvaging. It's like the ships just dissolved. The pirate lord went silent. He had heard rumors, whispers about human weapons. From the ancient war 5 centuries ago. Weapons that even the oldest empires feared. If those rumors were true, the galaxy was in danger, and the Drazak Syndicate might be first on the list. Back in the Sol system, Mayra received new orders from Earth's Prime Minister. Captain, the Prime Minister said via encrypted channel. Intelligence suggests the Council may be planning to test our defenses. They will send a probe fleet within the next year. I want our response ready. Mayra nodded. Shall we continue hiding our capabilities? For now, the Prime Minister replied. But if they cross the line, we will show them what we've built. And when that happens, Mayra asked. The Prime Minister's voice hardened. When that happens, Captain, the galaxy will burn. In the months that followed, strange events multiplied. A trade convoy of an alien empire vanished near human space. The only signal detected before the disappearance was a brief burst of static. An alien spy ship sent to scan Earth never returned. Its last transmission was a distorted image of a massive shadow blotting out the stars. Unmarked black ships were spotted in multiple star systems, vanishing instantly without using any known jump drive technology. Most of the Council still ignored these warnings, dismissing them as unrelated incidents. But for those paying attention, a pattern was forming. Ambassador Lethan began preparing his own private investigation. He bribed smugglers, hired mercenaries, and used every contact he had to gather data on humanity's movements. The more he learned, the more he feared. One of his agents sent a message that chilled his blood. They are building fleets in places that don't exist on any chart. And they move without hyperspace lanes. It's like they're not bound by the same rules of physics we are. Lethan knew then that the galaxy was standing on the edge of something it could not control. The spark that would ignite the fire came sooner than anyone expected. On the border between the Yilthan Empire and human space, a Yilthan patrol ship accidentally crossed into human territory. Officially, it was a navigation error. Unofficially, it was a test to see how quickly humans would respond. The Yilthan ship never came back. Its last recorded log was a single line: "Something is here with us." The message cut off. When Yilthan rescue ships arrived, they found nothing. Not wreckage, not radiation. Nothing at all. This time, the Galactic Council could not ignore it. An emergency session was called. "This is an act of war." Varrock shouted, "The humans have gone too far." "You provoked them," Lethan snapped back. "You wanted to see their strength, and now you've had a glimpse." "This is not strength," Varrock snarled. "This is a threat to the balance of the galaxy. If humans can erase ships without leaving a trace, they must be stopped before they grow bolder." "And how will you stop them?" Lethan asked. "With fleets they can destroy in seconds?" Silence fell over the chamber. On the far side of the moon, Captain Mira stood aboard the Shadow Spear as it prepared to launch on its mission. Her orders were simple: patrol the border systems, but make no open attacks unless provoked. But in the back of her mind, Mira knew provocation was inevitable. The galaxy was growing nervous, and nervous powers made reckless choices. She turned to her crew. "We have 1 year, maybe less, before the Council makes its move. Train hard. When the first shot is fired, we will not hold back." The crew responded with a unified, "Yes, Captain." In the darkness of space, the Shadow Spear vanished from sight. No flash of light, no hyperspace distortion, just gone. Somewhere in the galaxy, that spark had already touched dry kindling. Soon, the fire would spread, and when it did, the galaxy would learn the truth. Humanity had never been weak. They had only been waiting. The warning came in the middle of the night on Earth. Across every military channel, a single alarm sounded, a deep, resonating tone no human had heard in over 200 years. It was the sound for Code Black Dot. At the same time, the skies above Earth lit up with faint flashes as orbital defense satellites powered up. On the moon's far side, the massive shipyards shifted into high alert. Doors the size of cities slid open, revealing warships hidden for generations. The alien invasion fleet had arrived. Hook. First 5 to 7 minutes, it began as a shadow at the edge of the Sol system. Hundreds of alien warships, dark and sharp like a wall of steel. They came in formation, each one bristling with weapons. On the bridge of the alien flagship, High Admiral Corvin of the Yilthan Empire watched Earth grow larger on the screen. His orders were clear: cripple the human fleet, force them to surrender, and search their world for hidden technology. "They have no chance," Corvin told his officers. "Our intelligence says their largest battleship is outdated by a century." The fleet's communications crackled as other commanders reported in. All squadrons in position. Missile batteries charged, ready to begin orbital siege. Corvin gave the order: advance. Today the humans learned their place. But deep in the moon's shadow, humanity's answer was already moving. Inside the Shadow Spear, Captain Mira Kane stood before her crew. The tension on the bridge was electric. "They're here," she said calmly. "The Council has made its choice. Now we make ours." Tactical Officer Jin adjusted the holographic map. Enemy fleet count 120 ships, including 12 dreadnoughts. They're splitting into 3 attack groups. Perfect, Mira said. "We'll take the center formation." The Shadow Spear's engines rumbled to life, not with the bright flare of alien drives, but with a silent pulse that left no trace on sensors. The ship slipped forward like a ghost into open space. On the alien flagship, Admiral Corvin's sensors officer frowned. "Sir, we're detecting something unusual near the moon." Corvin glanced over. "Identify it." "It's gone." "Gone?" It appeared for a second, then vanished. No hyperspace signature. Corvin's brow furrowed. "Keep scanning." "I don't like surprises." The first shots came from the aliens. Massive energy lances tore across the void, striking Earth's outer defense satellites. One by one, the satellites exploded, lighting up the dark. Alien ships surged forward. They were confident, fast, and heavily armed. But they were also walking into a trap. From the far side of the moon, 6 massive black warships emerged sleek, silent, and bristling with weapons no alien database could identify. "Enemy contacts," shouted Corvin's sensors officer. "Unknown Class 6 vessels approaching at high velocity." "Only 6. Corvin smirked. "Destroy them." The first alien salvo lit up space. Dozens of plasma bolts and missile swarms flew toward the human ships. But before they could hit, the black warship shimmered and vanished. "Where did they go?" Corvin demanded. "Sir." Before the officer could finish, a human warship appeared inside the alien formation, right between 2 destroyers. Without a word, it fired a single pulse from its spinal cannon. The destroyers didn't explode. They simply ceased to exist. The energy blast vaporized them instantly, leaving empty space where they had been, on the Shadow Spear's bridge. Mira watched calmly. "Target the dreadnought." The crew moved with precision. A second later, a beam of cold blue light shot across the void, piercing the alien flagship shields like paper. The dreadnought's armor split open, its core detonating in a silent flash. Alien communications exploded in chaos. "Unknown weapon." "Shields useless." "They're moving faster than sensors can track." "Multiple ships lost." Corvin's confidence vanished. "All ships regroup, form a defensive wall." But the humans didn't fight like any enemy they'd faced. Alien fleets relied on predictable formations, heavy broadsides, and brute force. The human ships fought like predators, vanishing and reappearing, striking from angles sensors couldn't predict, killing in single blows. Back on Earth, civilians watched the battle unfold on massive screens in public squares. At first, panic spread. No one had expected such a large fleet to arrive. But as they saw alien ships vanish one after another, replaced by the black silhouettes of human warships, fear turned to awe. In the council chamber, alien leaders were glued to live feeds. Some were pale with shock. Others whispered in disbelief. That's not possible," Strya murmured. "No species moves ships like that." Lethan's voice was grim. "It's possible if you've been hiding the technology for centuries." Within 20 minutes, over half of Corvin's fleet was gone. The Shadow Spear and her sister ships hunted them mercilessly, leaving no chance to retreat. Corvin knew the battle was lost. "Signal the retreat," he growled. "We've underestimated them." But as his communications officer opened a channel, the alien flagship shuddered. A black shape appeared outside their viewport, the largest human warship yet, dwarfing even the DREADNOUGHTS. It was the Eclipse Titan. The Eclipse Titan's commander opened a transmission. His voice was calm, almost casual. "Admiral Corvin, you came here seeking our weakness. You found our answer. Leave now, or none of you will return." Corvin's jaw tightened. "You can't fight the galaxy." The commander's tone didn't change. "We don't need to fight the galaxy. Only those foolish enough to raise a weapon against us." Corvin hesitated. His pride screamed at him to keep fighting. But as he looked at the destruction outside, the broken remains of his fleet, The silent black warships drifting like predators, he made the only choice he could. Retreat, he said softly. All ships retreat. The alien fleet limped away, leaving behind the wreckage of their dead. The humans didn't pursue. They didn't need to. The message had been sent. On the Shadow Spear, Mira watched the enemy disappear into hyperspace. They'll be back, she said. Rourke nodded. And next time, they'll bring everyone. Mira's expression hardened. Then we'd better finish building the Titans. Far away, in the council chamber, silence reigned. The live feed ended, leaving only static. No one spoke for a long moment. Finally, Lethan broke the silence. I warned you. Humanity was never weak. They were patient. Verox's voice was low. If they have weapons like this, they could destroy any of us. They could, Lethan. Agreed. The question is, will they? But deep beneath the surface of the moon, in hidden vaults no alien had ever seen, humanity was already preparing the answer. They had held back for centuries. Now, the chains were breaking, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming next. The galaxy had seen wars before. Empires had risen and fallen. Planets had burned. Fleets had vanished in the void. But no war in history had begun like this. Every species, every empire, every fleet commander had seen the battle over Earth. They had seen black human warships appear and disappear at will, tearing through the Ylthan fleet as if it were nothing. And the fear that followed was like a virus spreading from world to world. System to system. Fear always demanded an answer. That answer came in the form of the largest combined fleet in galactic history. Hook. First 5 to 7 minutes at the edge of the Procyon sector, deep in the blackness of space, millions of tons of metal drifted in formation. 1,000 warships from over a dozen empires, each one armed with the most powerful weapons their people had ever built. Dreadnoughts from the Kith Dominion, carrier fortresses from the Vraketh Alliance, missile barges from the Ylthan Empire, and, at the center, the Council flagship, a colossal station ship large enough to carry an entire city inside. On its command deck, Supreme Commander Thalric stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His voice was steady, but every officer around him could feel the tension. Our orders are clear, Thalric said. We strike at Earth. We destroy their fleet. We end this human threat before it spreads. The holomap showed their attack plan. Multiple fleets would jump to different points in the Sol system, surrounding Earth before the humans could respond. The goal was overwhelming force. They will not be able to hide this time, Thalric said. We will crush them in one blow. In the Sol system, human intelligence had already intercepted the Council's plans. On the moon's far side, Captain Mira Kane watched the incoming fleet markers on a holographic sphere. They were so many that the display glowed red. How many? She asked quietly. Tactical Officer Jin hesitated. Estimates 900 to 1,000 ships. Possibly more. The bridge fell silent. Chief Engineer Rourke finally spoke. That's not a fleet. That's the galaxy, Myra nodded. Then let's show the galaxy what we've been building. For centuries, Earth had hidden its true strength. The black, Phantom-class warships were only the first step. In the deep vaults beneath the moon's surface, far from alien eyes, something far greater had been waiting. The Titans. The first Titan to rise from its cradle was the Eclipse Titan, the same one that had appeared at the end of the Ylthan battle. But now it wasn't alone. 2 more massive ships followed, Oblivion Hammer and Star Reaper, each over 20 kilometers long. Each armed with weapons no alien language had words for. Mira's orders came directly from Earth's Prime Minister, Captain Kane, the Council. Fleet will arrive within 1 hour. Deploy all assets. Leave no doubt in their minds about what humanity is capable of. In deep space, the Council fleet began its jump. 1,000 ships vanished into hyperspace, leaving streaks of light. Minutes. Later, the Sol system's outer defenses lit up. Multiple jump signatures detected. Jin reported, "They're everywhere: Mars orbit, Jupiter orbit, outer asteroid belt." "Exactly as expected," Mira said. "All ships launch." From the moon's hidden docks, the Black Fleet emerged, dozens of Phantom-class ships, and the 3 Titans. Their hulls shimmered with adaptive armor, shifting between deep black and mirror-like silver. The Titans didn't accelerate in the normal way. They simply vanished, reappearing thousands of kilometers away in an instant. When the Council fleet saw them, the reaction was immediate. Massive enemy contacts detected. One alien officer shouted aboard a Kith Dominion dreadnought. "What are those?" another cried. "They're too big to be destroyers' weight. They just moved again." "How?" The battle began without warning. The Eclipse Titan fired first, its forward cannon releasing a beam of condensed gravitational energy. 3 alien cruisers were crushed into fragments instantly, their hulls imploding before exploding outward. The Oblivion Hammer followed, unleashing a storm of black wave missiles projectiles that phased through shields before detonating inside enemy ships. One of the Vrukhev carrier fortresses broke apart from the inside, spilling fire and debris into space. The Star Reaper didn't use visible weapons at all. Alien ships simply began shutting down engines offline, shields collapsing, crews screaming. As life support failed, from the Council flagship, Commander Thalric stared in disbelief. "This is not possible," he muttered. "No species has this power." "No species." His voice was cut off as the Eclipse Titan's main gun swept across a line of destroyers, erasing them in seconds. On the Shadow Spear, Mira was everywhere at once, vanishing from enemy sensors, appearing behind their formations, and striking without mercy. Her crew worked like a single machine, each order carried out instantly. "Target that dreadnought." "Fire beam 3 seconds." Enemy cruiser closing jumped to new position. The alien fleet tried to regroup, but the humans were too fast. Every time the Council ships formed a wall, the Black Fleet would slip through like water, cutting their formation apart. The battle raged for less than 30 minutes. By the end, over half the Council fleet was gone. The rest scattered, retreating in disarray. The Council flagship tried to flee, but the Star Reaper appeared in its path. A single silent pulse left the massive vessel drifting, powerless. Star Reaper's bridge, its commander opened a channel to the Council leadership. His words were calm, but there was no mistaking the warning. "This war ends now. Leave human space and never return. Or the next time we come for you, there will be no survivors." The surviving alien ships retreated, limping toward the nearest hyperspace lanes. The humans did not chase them. They didn't need to. The message had been sent across the galaxy. Humanity was no longer hiding. In the Council chamber days later, the mood was grim. Many seats were empty. Leaders whose fleets had been destroyed, whose people now demanded answers. Ambassador Lethan spoke first. "You all saw what happened. You saw the Titans. Humanity has been preparing for this for centuries. If we continue to provoke them, there will be nothing left of our worlds." Virax, his scales dull with defeat, didn't argue. "Then what do you suggest? That we surrender to them?" Lethan's eyes narrowed. "I suggest we survive. And survival means never giving them a reason to come for us again." Back on the moon, in the War Factory's command center, Mira stood before the Prime Minister. "They will return," Mira said. "Yes," the Prime Minister replied. "But next time, they will bring every ship in the galaxy." Mira looked out the viewport at the Titans docked in their cradles, gleaming under the artificial lights. "Then we'll just have to build more." Humanity had shown the galaxy a fraction of its true power. The Titans were only the beginning. The war had started, and now there was no turning back. The galaxy was silent, not peaceful, not calm silent. The kind of silence that comes after a storm so massive, It leaves everything in awe and fear. Humanity had spoken, and the rest of the stars had listened. Hook. First 5 to 7 minutes from orbit around Earth, the alien survivors watched the vast black fleet move in perfect formation. Titans floated like monuments to human engineering, their black hulls reflecting the stars. Phantom-class warships darted between them, invisible until they struck. Every species that had ever looked down on humanity now realized the truth. Humans had never been weak. They had only waited. On the bridge of the Eclipse Titan, Captain Mira Kane observed the alien remnants. She did not smile, did not celebrate. Her eyes were calm, almost cold. They thought they could challenge us. She sighed. They were wrong. Her tactical officer Jin nodded. We've destroyed or captured over 70% of the combined fleets in the past week. Those who remain are fleeing to their home systems. And the home systems? Mira asked. Rourke, standing near the command console, replied, many are already under observation. A few are preparing defenses, but they lack coordination. Our presence is unsettling, to say the least. Mira turned to the viewport, stars reflected off the hull, countless worlds waiting. She whispered, the galaxy is ours to shape. Back on Earth, the Prime Minister addressed the United Nations of Humanity, a gathering that now included all civilian, military, and scientific leaders. The galaxy has finally seen us as we truly are, she said. For centuries, we held back our power. We chose peace, restraint, and secrecy, but the rest of the stars underestimated us. That mistake will not happen again. A giant screen behind her displayed images from the war aliens fleeing fleets. Reduced to debris, planets untouched but under human observation. The crowd was silent, not out of fear, but awe. From this moment, the Prime Minister continued, we will establish a new order. One that ensures peace, stability, and security. For all, but make no mistake, any species that chooses war against us will not survive. The Council's last stand across the galaxy, in the ruins of the Council Chamber, surviving leaders convened in secret. Chancellor Verox of the Yilthan Empire looked out at the damaged fleets on holographic screens. How is this possible? He muttered. They have fewer ships than we do, yet they move like gods. Councillor Strya clicked her mandibles nervously. They've mastered movement, weaponry, and tactics that defy our understanding. If we fight again, we're finished. Ambassador Lethan, still wary, said nothing at first. He had warned them before, but no one had listened. Now the galaxy's strongest fleets were shattered, and only a handful of leaders survived. They are not done, Lethan finally said. They've only shown a fraction of their true power. Earth has held back for centuries. What we have seen is only the beginning. A silence followed. No one argued. Everyone knew he was right. Enforcing the new order within weeks, human fleets were stationed at strategic locations across the galaxy. Not as conquerors, but as observers. Planetary governments were left intact if they pledged loyalty. Star systems that resisted were neutralized without unnecessary loss of life, showing the devastating precision of human weapons. Trade routes were regulated to prevent war profiteering, piracy, or rebellion. Every action sent a clear message. Humanity would not tolerate threats, but peace was possible under their watch. On the bridge of the Oblivion Hammer, Captain Kane observed a distant system. A small fleet had tried to flee into uncharted space, hoping to escape observation. The human ship's weapons were silent, its engines cloaked. In moments, the fleet's comms were jammed, their ships immobilized. A calm, collected voice came. Over the intercom, we can destroy you in seconds. Surrender and live, resist and die. Seconds later, the fleet complied. No shots fired. No casualties. Just a demonstration of ultimate power. The human message, a galaxy-wide broadcast was prepared. reaching thousands of systems, dozens of species, and millions of beings. Captain Kane herself recorded the message. For centuries, humans have held back. We chose restraint over war, secrecy over conflict. That has ended. The galaxy has seen our power, our precision, and our patience. From this moment, Earth establishes the new order. No species will be allowed to threaten another. No species will rise unchecked. We did not seek war, but we are prepared. The galaxy now knows humanity is not weak. Humanity is inevitable. The broadcast ended. Across countless worlds, aliens watched in fear, disbelief, and respect. The aftermath. Months passed. Trade flourished under human oversight. Disputes were resolved, for they escalated into war. Former council members were either allies or silent observers, too afraid to challenge the new power structure. And yet, Earth continued to prepare. Deep beneath the moon, more Titans were built. Research continued on technologies never revealed. Weapons never fired, fleets never deployed. 20% used, Rourke said. Checking the schematics for a new weapon class, Mira frowned. We've only shown a fraction, Rourke nodded. The galaxy believes this is our peak. They have no idea what we could do if we unleashed everything. Mira smiled thinly. Then let them think that. Fear is a better teacher than mercy. The final twist in a hidden chamber on Earth. Scientists monitored a signal from deep space, an unknown species observing the galaxy's edge. Captain Kane. One said, "We're receiving a transmission." Unknown origin, unknown intentions. Mira leaned forward. "Play it." The screen flickered. A shape appeared colossal, unlike anything humans or aliens had ever seen. Its presence made sensors fail and navigation systems glitch. The voice, or whatever it was, reverberated across space. "You have awakened the balance. Humanity, you are not alone." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the fleets. Whatever it is, we will meet it." Rourke's hand hovered over the console. "All Titans ready, Captain?" "All Titans ready," Mira confirmed. The galaxy had seen humanity's true power, but the universe was vast. Something beyond comprehension had taken notice. And now, Earth was ready, ending humanity's true power from orbit to the farthest star systems. The message was clear. Humanity had held back for centuries. Humanity had been underestimated. Humanity had waited. And now the galaxy knew. Humanity would not be stopped. The new order was not just a promise. It was a warning. And in the dark void of space, something was stirring, something that even the Titans might have to face. The galaxy had survived humanity's awakening. But would it survive the future?